Tonight on Ctv3 News, internal investigation launched at Northern Regional Hospital following death of Yule Creek resident Rolando Garcia. Investigation launched into suspected visa fraud at Philip Golson International Airport. And Ministry of Agriculture requests sterile flies in urgent bid to combat screwworm outbreak. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Thursday, February 6th, 2025.
Yo te extrañaré, tenlo por...
Attention residents of Orange Walk. Keeping your town clean and safe is crucial for our community's well-being. However, there is a pressing issue that we need your help to tackle: bushy and abandoned lots. These neglected areas attract pests like rodents, snakes, and other dangerous animals, creating a hazard for everyone. Not only that, these lots become breeding grounds for illicit activities, posing a threat to our town's security. Moreover, they are a sore on the beauty of our thriving community. Under the Public Health Act, Chapter 40 of the Laws of Belize, these neglected lots are considered nuisances. Failure to address them after receiving a due warning can lead to fines imposed by the court on the property's owners. Let's all play our part in keeping Orange Walk Town clean and safe. If you spot an abandoned or bushy lot in your neighborhood, don't hesitate to report it. Report any such lots to us promptly. You can reach us at 380-2053 or send us a message via WhatsApp to 655-4588. Your vigilance can help us maintain our town's beauty and safety. The Orange Walk Town Council, moving forward, one town, one vision.
Good evening. Winter News also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. An internal investigation is underway at the Northern Regional Hospital, NRH, following the tragic death of 58-year-old Rolando Garcia, who died less than an hour after being treated and discharged from the facility on Saturday night. The family of the Yule Creek resident is demanding answers as they prepare for his burial. Garcia was transported to NRH after being found in a ditch alongside a road in the Yule Creek community, where he was reportedly partially submerged in water and struggling to breathe. Passers-by rescued him and rushed him to the hospital, where he received treatment for a large cut to his forehead. His family members claimed that he was discharged shortly thereafter and sent home. However, shortly after arriving back in Yule Creek, Garcia began experiencing severe breathing difficulties. His family hurried him back to the hospital, but he tragically passed away en route. Mark Cabrera, Garcia's nephew, recounted their harrowing experience and raised concerns about the hospital's discharge practices.
He was complaining that he had a trouble when it comes to breathing. He couldn't breathe clearly. Very like a high, how do you say it? It's like a wheezing sound, like a high wheezing sound whenever he breathes. And he was telling me that he doesn't know what happened. I asked, did someone hit you? Did someone run you over? Did you just fell? He couldn't answer. He mentioned he just blacked out, and when he woke up, he was around people and everything. So we managed to take him inside. We contacted my same aunt to come look for him. And it wasn't even after, like, say, 15 minutes whereby he was sitting down. And he was complaining that he wanted to go to sleep. He felt tired. But he was still, speaking to us clearly. And that's when I'm guessing he started convulsing. As I'm talking, started to vomit slowly. And at the same time, as he started, my aunt came. We took him, put him in the back of the pickup truck and rushed. Along the way, I started giving him CPR. He started to take out a lot of fluid, a lot of vomit. So whenever he was vomiting, turn him over to my side, have everything come out, then put him back down and continue CPR. Made several attempts, as I say, after passing coils or reaching coils, that's when I realized that he had passed. We reached the hospital now. So there I was complaining, like the doctors and nurses came out. I was like, my uncle was just here, not even an hour or two ago. I mean, why didn't you guys just keep him for observation? Why was there no additional help rendered to my uncle? They didn't say anything. Everybody stayed quiet, but they seemed shocked to see my uncle there, basically already dead on arrival. So now,
Cabrera added that upon speaking with the doctors in charge of his uncle's care, he was informed that Garcia had allegedly discharged himself from the hospital. This claim, however, stands in stark contrast to what Garcia reportedly communicated during his treatment.
Spoke to the doctor in charge. I asked him, the same question as to how was it that my uncle was discharged so quickly. He mentioned that firstly, my uncle told me from the beginning that they discharged him. The doctor told me that he discharged himself. Then the police report states that he was discharged. So that's where it lies in that section there. But basically what upset myself and the family is that, they should have done everything possible, do their due diligence as a doctor or as a nurse, to check on him. Clearly he was fully drenched in water. I understand that he walked inside on his own to the emergency ward. They stitched him. I don't know what type of, if there was anything was injected on him. I wasn't notified of that. He had a large cut wound. I didn't realize the cut wound until when he had passed while we're driving, whereby his headband had been removed by the wind, and that's when I actually saw how large of a cut he had on his forehead. So that indicated to me that, being, a medical personnel, you should have already see if there's any concussion, any internal bleeding perhaps, and the way he was breathing, I mean, he didn't start breathing just as is. He was breathing like that from when he was there.
Family members, while grieving their loss, also expressed confusion regarding how Garcia ended up in a ditch.
How was he dispatched quickly, discharged from the hospital? So that's the question that's basically floating around that we need answers to as well, right? Because, a life could have been saved if he was kept for observation a few hours more, rather than having him discharged just as is. Now, yes, he was under the influence, but my uncle was still basically answering to any questions that was being brought up to him as well when he was with us, and then definitely with the doctor asking him. But what I do found a little bit off is that when the doctor told me, well, my uncle didn't tell him that or nobody told him that he was under the water or found underwater, basically drowning, right? My uncle wouldn't know. He has a gash on his head. He was underwater. He's probably lack of oxygen. So of course, at this moment, my uncle wasn't thinking clearly, right? So, all of that comes into play, and then I'm guessing it's on the doctor's end, that they should have made something to have assisted my uncle, because to have him just be released as is, having come home and within minutes of reaching his dying, and then he passes away along the way. All of that could have been avoided if.
In response to the growing concerns, Health Minister Honorable Kevin Bernard confirmed that a post-mortem examination is scheduled for Friday, which is expected to shed light on the cause of Garcia's death.
I cannot comment to that. We are doing our investigation. I do not run on social media issues, because there are many times information that are posted on social media are not factual. I know there's a person who called himself a journalist who mentioned on social media that he tried to approach me on a matter, on that same matter, I did not have any details of the matter. I could not respond on something, and I will not respond on something that I don't have proper information on. So our team is investigating the matter to find out exactly what really transpired. Before I can comment, I prefer to wait until I get a full briefing from the regional manager and through our Dr. Polanco, who is doing the research and investigation on that issue.
In a significant development for the agricultural sector, Belizean authorities have reported promising progress in containing an outbreak of the new World Screwworm, a parasitic fly known to pose a severe risk to livestock. Since the first case was identified in late December 2024 in the Toledo district, officials have confirmed a total of 8 incidents, all within the villages of Cervical and San Pedro, Colombia. The Belize Agricultural Health Authority, BAHA, has swiftly responded to the crisis by enacting a series of stringent measures aimed at curtailing the spread of this pest. Collaborating with multiple partners, including the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, the Regional International Organization for Agricultural Health, OIRSA, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA, and the Belize Livestock Producers Association, BLPA, BAHA, has launched an intensive containment strategy. But aware that there is more that needs to be done to contain the spread of the disease, Minister of Agriculture Jose Mai says the ministry has requested for sterile flies from USDA APHIS, but a response is yet to be obtained.
We have done our best to try to contain it. Every country in Central America has been treated with sterile flies. They have dispersed sterile flies in every single country of Central America, including Mexico, which is a part of North America. Belize is the only country that has not benefited from dispersal of sterile flies. We've written to USDA APHIS and asked them to disperse flies because we are trying to contain the spread, but they have not responded to us favorably. They have said no, they cannot at this time. Mexico is supporting Belize, OIRSA is supporting Belize, asking them to disperse flies in Belize, and they have not responded to us favorably, which is very unfortunate and very discouraging, because we are doing everything on the ground to contain it. We're using our resources, the ministry's resources, OIRSA's resources, BAHA's resources, ICA's resources to fight it on the ground. But I don't know how long we can hold up if they don't disperse flies in Belize. With what the cases we have in Belize, which are contained in one specific location, we would need nothing more than 1 million flies. The plant is dispersing 100 million flies a week. We are saying give us 1 million flies, we're able to control it. But they have not responded to our request favorably, which is very disappointing.
Key to these efforts have been the expansion of movement control mechanisms at major entry points. The control point in Halacte is now operational around the clock, while a new control point has been set up in Bullet Tree. These measures require all vehicles entering Belize, especially those carrying cattle, to undergo rigorous cleaning and sanitization protocols, mitigating the risk of the screwworm's further spread. In addition to these preventative measures, BAHA has also established an additional movement control point at Bella Vista, specifically ensuring that all livestock departing the Toledo district have undergone thorough inspections and are accompanied by the required inspection certificates and movement permits. 49-year-old resident of Camalote, Craig Moore, faces serious legal consequences after being charged with falsification of a permit and aiding in the commission of an immigration offense. The charges stem from an investigation into suspected visa fraud that unfolded at the Philip Golson International Airport, PGIA, on Monday. The incident began when a 23-year-old national from Montenegro arrived in Belize via Copa Airlines. Immigration officers on duty at PGIA flagged the traveler's Belizean visa for lacking crucial security features typically present illegitimate documentation. A closer inspection and subsequent inquiries at the Belmopan Immigration Headquarters revealed that the individual identified as Lazar Krivokapik had previously applied for a Belizean visa but had been denied. As officers further probed the situation, they shifted their attention to the airport's exit area where they located a Moor. He was waiting to pick up Krivokapik. Upon requesting, he produced a receipt for a prior visa application submitted on behalf of Krivokapik that had been officially denied. In light of these developments, the matter was swiftly reported to the Special Branch Police personnel stationed at PGIA. Both were detained. Authorities seized Krivokapik's Montenegro passport, the suspected counterfeit Belizean visa, as well as a copy of the application receipt and the official denial letter. Investigators are currently working diligently to uncover the full extent of the suspected visa fraud scheme, and additional inquiries are being conducted to ascertain whether there may be broader implications or accomplices involved. According to attorney O.J. Elrington, his client maintains his innocence. As a carrier, Moore has indicated to his lawyer that he had no idea if the document was authentic or not. As we told you last night, Senior Counsel Anand Ramalogan plans to take legal action against the government seeking a redistricting exercise before the next general election. Representing 3 registered voters, Ramalogan has sent a 14-page pre-action letter to key officials warning that holding an election under current boundaries would violate constitutional requirements for equal electoral divisions. He criticizes the government for not passing the necessary amendment to address zoning issues, stating that an election under the existing boundaries could be deemed invalid and unconstitutional. Ramalogan is prepared to seek judicial intervention if the government does not assure a redistricting process. In response, the Attorney General's representative confirmed that the Prime Minister will not announce the election date at the parliamentary sitting tomorrow. Today, we asked parliamentarian Jose Mai to comment on the issue.
No, not at all. That matter has, in my view, I think, or in my recollection, had been settled. And I don't know where this was coming from. I think what they were thinking is that tomorrow, Friday, the Prime Minister would have called elections or set the date for the elections. But I don't know that it is that the Prime Minister has to set the date or announce the date at the sitting of the House. He could call a press conference and do so. But that is a legal matter, and I prefer to leave out the question for the legal mind.
Coming up next, Caribbean Community Climate Change Center launches $38 million project to boost sugarcane industry. Stay tuned.
Keeping our beautiful town of Orange Walk clean is everyone's responsibility. Use sturdy bags, tie them securely, and avoid placing sharp objects inside. By properly bagging your garbage, you're not only making it easier for our sanitation workers, but also helping to prevent litter and keep our environment clean. Let's work together to make a difference. For large disposals, contact us for an evaluation.
The Caribbean Community Climate Change Center today launched a groundbreaking project worth $38 million aimed at strengthening the resilience of the sugarcane industry in northern Belize. The project, dubbed Building the Adaptive Capacity of Sugarcane Farmers in Northern Belize, was unveiled at a ceremony held in San Roman, Corozal, attended by farmers, key stakeholders, and government officials. The initiative was developed in response to the alarming decline in sugarcane yields in recent years, largely attributed to the devastating effects of climate change. Through this project, the sugarcane industry in Belize is expected to become more resistant to weather fluctuations such as rainfall, temperature changes, and other environmental threats. Minister of Agriculture Jose Abelardo Mai expanded on the initiative.
Yeah, the project is a Ministry of Economic Development managed project with input from the Ministry of Agriculture. We are a stakeholder in the project. Through the Sugar Industry Control Board, CIRDI, the research arm of Sugar Board, we will be involved with this project. Many projects that are funded internationally, a great part of the funding goes to administration, and a smaller component always goes to the farmer. We are trying in this case for it to be different, that the farmers will have to contribute in kind, or they have a component that they have to finance, and that makes the project more available to the farmers. So we are hoping that a great part of the fund will go towards the farm. A project of this magnitude, this is a mega project, has to show results. As Dr. Young mentioned in his presentation, the implementation is always a challenge to implement. Writing a project is a challenge, but implementing is always a challenge. Ensuring that the farmers are beneficiaries, ensuring that they show improvement, to show increases in yield. That is a challenge. How do you implement? How do you go about ensuring that happens? And so there has to be very close monitoring, much participation from CIRDI or Research Institute, and the Ministry of Agriculture. We are the technical people in the Ministry of Agriculture. So drainage and irrigation is our thing. Disease and pest control, integrated pest management is our thing. And so we have to ensure that our people are on the ground, teaching the farmer, showing the farmer, working with the farmer, ensuring that these actions are implemented.
The project will be executed over a period of 5 years with the goal of enhancing the adaptive capacity of sugarcane farmers. According to Dr. Colin Young, Executive Director of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, the project's success depends on the collaboration of all stakeholders throughout its lifetime.
5 years ago, the government had approached the 5Cs along with the stakeholders, the farmers and BSI and CIRDI, to look at the possibility of accessing resources to help farmers deal with all of the variability that they're experiencing in the industry. Some years they have too much water, some years too little water, and then they have this persistent problem with the stem borers and the hoppers and others. And so we tried to design a project that would allow the farmers that if they practice better land management techniques and they had different varieties of seed cane, that they can diversify away from the B79 variety that they use now, that it will build the resilience of the industry to the effects of climate change.
Representatives from all 4 cane farmer associations were in attendance at the launch, including members from CIRDI. The full report on this significant development will be featured in tomorrow's newscast. Since taking office in 2020, the Brissenden administration has worked to increase the coverage of the National Health Insurance NHI to the entire Corozal district as well as Orange Walk and the north side of Belize City, including San Pedro and other areas of Belize Rural. Expansion to the Cayo district is now underway and expected to be completed by the end of this year, signifying the countrywide rollout of the National Health Insurance. This achievement, according to Health Minister Kevin Bernard, is testament to government's commitment towards the improvement of health services in Belize.
Well, as you are aware, the rollout of the entire Cayo district has commenced. There have been consultations that is taking place. The plan is that by the end of this year, we should have NHI across the entire country. So there is a process. I think that in May we are looking at targeting the Cayo side and then Belmopan district, Belmopan city, and then we go on to the other surrounding villages because Cayo district is very huge, and so there's going to be a lot of uptake. It is our hope that by the end of the year, as I said, we would have full coverage of NHI across the entire country.
The first Thursday in the month of February is celebrated every year as International Optimist Day, which seeks to bring communities together to share optimism and kindness. Optimism Club 501 believes join in with the hundreds of other clubs across the world to celebrate this very important occasion. Here in Orange Walk Town, the Optimism Club joined with schools from across the district to organize activities in which kindness for oneself and others was the main goal. At St. Peter's Anglican School, the upper division students, under the leadership of teacher Simone Meza, organized a special gift exchange between the students, where each person gifted one of their peers a bit of positivity and kindness.
Today we're celebrating Optimist International Day, and it is celebrated the first Thursday of every February. We have 3,000 clubs globally celebrating this initiative today. We just promote optimism. We want everyone in the community to have an optimistic mindset. You know, every day we face challenges, but if you change the mindset, it might just be more doable to overcome challenges, so we practice resilience. They had an excellent plan because it wasn't even any of the activities that I shared with them, but they engaged their students in a little, you know, sometimes for December they play KK. So that's what they're doing today, and little things that take you a long way because they allow their students to exchange names and they work with cards. So if I got your name, I am going to write three positive things about you.
Throughout the year, Optimism Club 501 believes engages with different stakeholders to carry out a number of community engagement.
One of our biggest missions is to work, as you mentioned, with the youths. So we empower youths, we bring the best in our youths and the community. We engage in cleanup campaigns, which myself and my partner here from CBA always partner. Buffalo Scouts as well, they always partner with us to do the cleanup campaigns.
As part of their mission to promote positivity and optimism in our community, the Optimist Club, in collaboration with the Child Advisory Body, CAB, to launch an anti-bullying campaign in schools across the district.
Our society is very big in lamenting stuff, but we're not proactive. It's always about crying about something that took place, but we're not preventing it. So I know that bullying takes place at home, bullying takes place in the classroom, bullying takes place at work, and it takes place across the levels. You're in the primary school level, secondary, tertiary, you're being bullied. Bullying is taking place, and sometimes we cannot blame individuals because some of them don't even know that they are bullying someone because that is the way they've been treated.
Campaign, according to coordinator of CAB, Melissa Cadle, looks forward to changing the narrative in our community, which has adopted bullying as the norm.
We need to get to the point where we say enough is enough. We're going to put our foot down. Every day, I know that there are parents who can attest that every day their child come home and say, oh, he took my pencil, oh, he threw my water bottle, oh, and it's just playing. It's a part of bullying. Even if they push you, they pull your hair. If I tell you, I don't like your lipstick, I'm bullying her. But we see it as a fun thing. We're just joking. And we need to start instilling this in our children that you should not do that. And to the others, if it's being done to you, speak up about it so that something can be done. And of course, to the bystanders, the friends who would stand up and cheer you on while you do it, we need to address that as well because you're part of it as well if you're standing up and watching it happen. It is something going on throughout our country in all our schools.
Other schools who also participated in today's International Optimist Day activities included San Luis RC School and also Louisiana Government School here in town. Belize joined in with the rest of the world this week to celebrate Cancer Awareness Day. In celebration of this important event, today the Belize Cancer Society, in collaboration with PAHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness, hosted a cervical cancer forum in Belize City. Today's event was held under the theme Empowering Women and Girls Against Cervical Cancer (HPV). The forum seeks to significantly reduce cervical cancer rates in Belize by educating women about the importance of HPV vaccination and early detection.
It is Cancer Awareness Month, and this forum is as organized by the Belize Cancer Society, is to bring awareness to women, but also to allow persons to take advantage of the HPV tests that are available for young children, young girls, and women that are able to take that test, and screening that is going to be made available. I think it's very important for us to highlight that it is a well-known fact that a lot of our people are suffering, females are suffering from cervical cancer. But it's also very important to also note that young boys can also carry the virus and pass it on to a female. And so it is about education, it's about hearing, and I think the forum will also allow for persons who have gone through this issue and survived the dreadful disease to share their experiences and to encourage others to take advantage of the support that is available to them. The Ministry of course, Health and Wellness have made HPV vaccine available free of cost to the Belizean population. And so we want to encourage people to get screened, get tested, and to take your vaccine.
As part of today's event, the Ministry of Health was offering on-site testing as well as key information about the ministry's efforts to provide vaccinations and screening free of cost across the country.
But the vaccine it was implemented in Belize way back in 2016. It had a cost at the time, but lost in 2023 when it was actually relaunched after COVID. We have seen much more personnel taking on the vaccines, and we encourage people to continue to take that vaccine. As I said, cervical cancer, which is highlighted in this forum, is preventable. It's a disease that can be prevented, it can be managed, and so we want to encourage people. And this forum is about that. It's about making sure we bring awareness to those effects of cervical cancer. It's also to bring awareness to females who can end up with that situation. So we want to encourage people to take advantage. Young children in schools are now through the education system, we're making that available as part of the normal vaccination program that they do in the schools. So the ministry is doing its part. The Belize Cancer Society is a stakeholder in all of this, and they are doing their part, and other organizations are doing their part. And so, as I highlighted in my message, that we at the ministry continue to support these organizations on a regular basis so that we could continue to build awareness, but also provide the necessary vaccine and tests that is available for these people.
Cancer is one of the most preventable and treatable forms of cancer. Women are encouraged to get tested regularly at any health clinic across the country. In a historic first overseas trip, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio turned his attention to Central America, placing immigration and the Panama Canal high on the agenda. His visit marks a significant step for the Trump administration, which is rapidly seeking to curb illegal immigration while expanding U.S. influence in the region, particularly in response to China's growing presence. During his tour, which includes stops in Panama, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Guatemala, and the Dominican Republic, Rubio expressed heightened concerns over Chinese investments in critical infrastructure, particularly around the Panama Canal. While Rubio's tour covers a vital swath of Central America, it notably excludes Belize and Nicaragua. When queried about this mission, Francis Fonseca, Belize's Minister of Foreign Affairs, highlighted that no U.S. Secretary of State has ever visited Belize.
Yeah, well, no Secretary of State has come to Belize, ever. I don't think it's, he's not gone to any CARICOM state either, where Belize is a part of CARICOM. I think it's good. I think Mr. Rubio's trip to the region is good. It's important, as he has said, to really start in your own backyard. U.S. administrations have generally given very little, attention to their own backyard, to Central America and the Caribbean, except for talking about, when they talk about illegal migration and drug trafficking and so all these issues. So we're glad that for his first trip, Mr. Rubio, Secretary Rubio, chose a different path. Normally they would start in Europe and that sort of thing. He said, let's start in our own backyard. So we see that as a good sign that perhaps the administration will have greater interest in what's happening here in Central America and what's happening in the Caribbean, we hope. We view it in a positive light. And again, the countries that he visited, of course, were countries where he had specific issues that he wanted to address with those countries on behalf of his administration. But we have, of course, we continue to have a very good working relationship with the U.S. government.
And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
El gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo representa una amenaza importante para el ganado, las mascotas y los seres humanos. Puede provocar graves pérdidas si no se controla rápidamente. Actualmente no está presente en Belice. Es por eso que la detección temprana es crucial para evitar su propagación. Ayudemos a mantenerlo fuera. No traiga animales de otros países ilegalmente. Si nota gusaneras en heridas inusuales, infórmelo de inmediato. Llame a Baja al 824-4872 o envíe un mensaje de texto al 670-7003. Juntos podemos trabajar para mantener a nuestro país libre del gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo y salvar animales. Este mensaje es presentado por Baja, OIRSA, IICA, USDA y el Ministerio de Agricultura, Seguridad Alimentaria y Empresas.
Honorable Dr. Osborne Martinez, Minister of State for Foreign Trade in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, accompanied by officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and Bell Trade, conducted a site visit to Marie Sharp's Fine Foods Limited in the Stand Creek Valley. This visit underscores the Belizean government's commitment to supporting local businesses, addressing their operational challenges, and facilitating their expansion into international markets. The primary objective of the visit was to gain first-hand insight into the opportunities and challenges confronting the company, which has grown significantly. It is exporting premium products to numerous countries, including the United Kingdom, Japan, Dubai, and the United States. The company is now seeking further market penetration in South Korea, Canada, and Mexico. However, it faces several challenges related to production, logistics, and trade, such as elevated import costs, logistical constraints, and competition for high-quality raw materials. Company representatives requested government support to mitigate these challenges, particularly in trade facilitation, streamlining processes, and enhancing supply chain management. A key point of discussion was the substantial positive social impact of Marie Sharp's Fine Foods Limited. The company has played a vital role in improving the livelihoods of local pepper farmers, lifting many out of poverty through interest-free financing that enables them to expand their operations. Minister Martinez reaffirmed the government's commitment to cultivating a supportive environment for businesses like Marie Sharp's Fine Foods Limited, emphasizing that bolstering agricultural productivity and supporting local enterprises are crucial for achieving Belize's national trade objectives of export diversification and economic growth. He acknowledged the company's concerns, particularly regarding trade and import challenges. This visit is part of a broader initiative to strengthen Belize's position as a leading exporter of high-quality agricultural products. The company is also exploring a strategic partnership with Panama to develop a distribution hub for its products in the Caribbean and South America. The government is dedicated to fostering such strategic trade partnerships. This visit represents a significant step in strengthening the collaborative relationship between the Belizean government and local businesses, ensuring they have the necessary support to thrive in the global marketplace. Today, Belize welcomed Ken Leggins, the new appointed UNICEF representative for Belize. Leggins presented his credentials to Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Francis Fonseca and Chief Executive Officer Amalia Mai in a courtesy visit to their offices at the Ling Building in Belmopan. Representative Leggins has over 25 years of experience in international development, having held high-level positions in UNICEF headquarters, Iraq, and China, amassing a wealth of technical experience in public health, humanitarian development context, and social sector systems building. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, February 7th, here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.